it wouldn't be unreasonable to say that society now functions on the internet is such an important tool that it is now starting to become very unaffordable to be able to keep broadband communications. The second thing I wanted to bring up is the infrastructure. And while the businesses are saying that they want to bring money in to help develop their infrastructure, they simply aren't doing that. If I wanted to communicate to a computer that's in Alberta, which isn't very far, my data will go down to the States, travel along a backbone that's just underneath the border, which, by the way, when the data passes over there, the data is now subject to American law, including the Patriot Act, and then it will go underneath Alberta, straight up. Our internet is just not that good. We're depending on US infrastructure, and from my perspective, Canada's now having expensive internet that just isn't very good. And I just want to know what the Liberal Party is going to do to ensure that Canada doesn't fall behind on the internet front.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is get some of my people to talk to you. We need you. And it's a great question. Everybody in this room knows the internet is the railway of what the railway was to the 19th century, the internet is to the 21st century. And you're raising serious questions about the infrastructure, and you're raising serious questions about the cost. I'm a great free market guy. I'm not in favor of heavy government regulation. But what you're inferring is that the CRTC is not regulating the internet right and not creating the price conditions that allow for real competition and drive the costs of the internet access down. But the first thing you're saying is slightly contradictory to the second. The high price of the internet is supposedly necessary, Bell says, in order to drive investment in the infrastructure. So we got to get a balance between price and investment, right? That seems to me the key thing. And that's what government's there to do, to regulate it so that the consumer gets a good deal and the companies that run the infrastructure have enough money to keep investing to improve it. So we're not running pipe through the United States. We can run an effective 21st century internet architecture. The one thing you didn't mention about the internet concerns me a lot, and this is to me an issue of almost a national unity issue, is that there are 800,000 Canadians who have no internet access at all, and most of them are living in rural, remote, and northern communities in this country. So you ask yourself, why are some parts of rural Canada feeling left behind? Why are they feeling second-class citizens? Why is it difficult to start a business? Why is it difficult to make an economic success in these places? Because the internet infrastructure is terrible. Australia looked at this problem and said this is a national priority. We got to get the whole country wired up. And if that means upfront government investment, so be it. That's the commitment the Liberal Party's made. One of the ways we would finance it, just so that young lady who asked the question of financing understands that I want to make promises, only the promises I can keep, is we need to have a spectrum. We're going to have spectrum auction in which the government sells bandwidth to private service providers. It's hugely valuable, this stuff. The government makes billions on selling bandwidth. What we need to do is when we sell bandwidth, commit all of it to making sure 100% of Canada, north, south, east, west, rural, remote, and northern, is hooked up to the best internet in the world. That's the kind of commitment we need to make. Because the other thing, sure as shooting, is if I don't, you're going to go. You're going to go where the internet is good. We'll lose you. And I can't afford to lose you, and this crowd can't afford to lose you. We need you. So we've got to make the investments to keep you there. Thank you for the question.